Welcome to Book Crew. We are on KCCC 9:30 a.m. in Carlsbad, New Mexico on Mondays at noon. We're available on YouTube under the Task Force Geek banner. And by the time you hear this, we'll be on every major podcast aggregator out there. I am writer and marketing Jedi Dirk Hooper, and I'm joined as always by author and editor Beth A. Freely. How are you doing, Beth?
I'm doing good, Dirk. How are you doing? You sound better than you did.
Yeah. A week ago, I think I had COVID. It was because I didn't go to the doctor and get it checked, and because what are they going to do? They can't. There's nothing they're going to do for me. But it went right straight to me coughing, and the flu doesn't do that. The flu starts out as this. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm talking about this. The flu starts out as like sinuses, and then you get a sore throat, and then it drains down in your chest, and then you start coughing.
Yeah.
With COVID, for me, it goes right straight to the coughing. When you start feeling bad, you start coughing. And it's like coughing. And then you also have the other stuff, but it comes later. Yeah. And it hits you so hard. Oh my God. I had fever off and on for about 4 days. Usually I have fever 1 or 2 days. I had fever off and on for 4 days. It hit me really hard. So anyway, if I cough today, my apologies. I'm still recovering. I'm so much better than I was a week ago. That's for sure. And I'll be fine in the next few days.
I came back from Texas from the work meeting last week sick too. So I feel you, but not like what you have. I'm still rough. A little stuffy, but yeah.
Yeah, when you got 2 days of thinking, I may not make it. These may be my final moments. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't really that bad. But when you're running a fever, boy, you just think this is the end of time.
Yeah,
this is the end of time. It sure does. So anyway, I got to talk about a few things, and strangely enough, they all are regarding our first guest, which was Angel Nix.
Angel,
I put out I'm doing the ebook conversion for my book Dominatrix Squad, which will be out on May 20th. It'll be in the past by the time you hear this. The first time around when I was doing ebook conversion, I used Kindle Create because I was only putting it on Amazon. Right. So it didn't matter. So this time around, I'm going to go wide, which means if you do something for Kindle Create, it's fine. You can do that, but it only works for Amazon.
Yeah.
So I needed a new ebook conversion program. So I looked around for stuff, and there are some free ones. I learned so much here in the last week. The first thing that I learned was that ebooks are basically web pages. If you don't know, ebooks are constructed as HTML and CSS, which is its website language. So basically, when you are reading an ebook, you are looking at a very long web page that is using HTML and CSS just like a website, and your e-reader is converting that web page into a format where you can read it. I did a test because I formatted my last book using Adobe InDesign, which is it's a professional program. Professionals use it. It is a very steep learning curve, and it's a lot of work.
Oh, yeah.
They say it's no problem. You can convert a book that you have laid out in Adobe InDesign, and you can convert it to an EPUB. It's like, okay, well, let's do a test with my last book and see how it goes. Mm-hmm. Oh, it was terrible. It was a disaster. So I knew that I needed to get a new program, and I posted on the Book Crew Facebook group and said, I got to have a new ebook conversion program.
Right.
And I got a lot of great suggestions, but one suggestion from Angel Nix, our first guest on the show,
right,
was Jutoh, Jutoh, and that was the winner, folks. That really worked well. So the benefit that I have with Jutoh is that it is a format where you don't have to do programming. Some of the free programs to do ebook conversions, you basically have to know CSS and HTML backwards and forwards, which is fine. I know some of it, but I couldn't bang it into shape using those programs. Juto puts it up exactly like it's going to be. And then you can adjust things on it so you don't have to be a programmer. Hello, peanut butter. So Juto was a great success for me for doing an ebook that I'm going to present wide. And thanks to Angel Nix for that. Secondly, also about Angel Nix, she put out a post earlier this week that said that she had her best month ever, and she attributed it to us.
I saw that.
I
thought that was awesome.
She showed her numbers. I mean, she put her money where her mouth was. She took the numbers and said, here's the spike. And the spike happened right after they presented the show, right after the show went live. Here's where the numbers went. And it's my best month ever. And she said there might be a few factors, but she attributed it to us. So yay us. That's a really great thing.
I love it.
Go
us. I was so tickled.
And I hope that everyone who's on the show. Yes. I mean, thank you.
Yeah.
But I sincerely hope that happens with everyone who's on the show. That's one of the things that we want to educate and inform and hopefully entertain people. But we also, the guests that we have on here, hopefully we want to raise them up and give them a bigger platform and help them succeed. And so to hear that happen with one person is fantastic. So here's the last thing that I have to say about Angel Nix. You and Angel were talking about her paranormal motorcycle club book. And you mentioned me on this thing. And so last night I was thinking, could I really do that? Because I mean, we talked many times about what my next plan is. My next plan was to do Demon Town, but Demon Town is going to be a big bite. It's going to take me a long time to get through that. Hopefully I can do it in about 6 months. What if I tried something like this project that I tried to get done in about 6 weeks and just get it out? Not obsess over it so much, but just really do it like what Beth is doing, where she can take on multiple projects and, get them out in a decent amount of time.
Just go.
What if I really shot for that? See if I could do it. Well, this would be a good project for that because there's not a lot of, I don't have a lot invested in it, and it's designed specifically for the purpose of, doing the thing and moving on. Not a lot of pressure. Mm-hmm. If I fail in it, also not a lot of pressure. It's not like people are waiting on me or anything. I don't screw up anyone's deal. But
you're part of a bigger something too.
Yeah. Which is wonderful. Yeah. It would be fun. Which is that's the draw, is to kind of be on board with another group of people and hopefully, reach other readers and bring readers to the group as well. So anyway, last night I couldn't go to sleep because I was thinking about the plot and these characters and stuff. Like, can I do it? And then after I got past the, thinking about whether I can do it, I started thinking about the story, and I couldn't go to sleep last night. So
welcome to my world, Dirk.
I still haven't. I had, all this stuff going on in my head. It's like, if I did do it,
fill out the form and do it.
I'm leaning heavily towards doing it.
Fill out the form and do it. And anybody else
out
there, man, stay tuned. But we're going to get Dirk to do this. We're going to get Dirk to do this.
Hey, let's get to our guest today, and people can
let's get Jay on here. Yes,
people can get onto me on social media over the next few days. JD Falor. Which one is it?
I'm not sure how they're
pronouncing. We'll get with them here in a minute and ask.
Yeah.
their fiction emerges from a life spent exploring Earth's most evocative places, from summoning ceremonies in Scottish highlands to nights spent in Roman nunneries. They've gathered tales where magic seems possible. Their studies of ancient cultures, from Mayan ruins to London history, historic towers, inform the complex societies in their works. Born in Louisiana and raised in Sydney, their agender perspective brings fresh insight to questions of identity and belonging in speculative fiction. Their worlds challenge readers to imagine possibilities beyond traditional boundaries, whether exploring distant planets or the depths of human experience. J.D. Falor, welcome to Book Crew.
Hi.
Is it Falor or Falor?
Falor.
There we go.
Falor. Okay. Okay.
Hi.
Go with the long A. There
Hello. Thank you for wading through all of my silly things that I had to talk about.
Okay.
How did a love of reading lead to writing?
Oh gosh. I have what if scenarios that won't leave me alone in my head about characters.
Hello.
So eventually I had to write about them. So I've been dabbling in writing about existing characters for over 10 years. So yeah.
It's that little niggling that just won't leave you alone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we've all been there.
How does travel and a love of history inform your writing?
Well, I love new cultures, so I like to think about what it might be like over there, and so if I'm learning about ancient history, I like to think about what might it have been like, to walk there and experience the stuff. And then if I'm reading fiction based in that, then I start thinking, oh, what if they did this, or what if this happened, or yeah.
Yeah, that is absolutely the genesis of almost all writing, I would think, is people, coming up with what if scenarios and just asking questions about stuff. I mean, if you're really advanced, you have a list of stuff that you keep at all times. And when you run into, like, I read the Washington Post every day. When I run into a science story where they're talking about some crazy thing that's coming down the line, and I say, well, what if this happened? What if we go to the logical conclusion of, where is this thing going? Well, suddenly, I mean, that's a story. And as long as you capture those things, then you can have an endless supply. I mean, I don't have a problem with coming up with stories. I have problems with writing them and completing them. That's another issue. Where have you been, and what have you done that has bled into your writing?
Oh, wow, that is such a broad question. I'm not entirely sure how to answer it.
Well, here, let me help you. I know you have lived outside of the country.
Yeah,
with your mom. Yeah, so I will start with that, because I know that story, but our listeners don't, and it's an interesting one.
Yeah. So my mom married an Australian when I was about 6, and so we moved to Sydney, Australia, and I grew up there. So I went through
pretty cool.
Through high school, did a bit of college over there, and during high school I discovered my love of history. But yeah, I went through the whole Australian education system, so that kind of gave me a different perspective of things that people would see here. So kind of a outside looking in, but at the same time I'm here looking out, so it's kind of kind of odd how it balances out, but that's just how it is for that. And of course, traveling to and from to see family over the years, I got to visit other places. So we had to stop over in Tokyo for 12 hours, and we got to go exploring.
Wow, cool.
Mostly me and Mom. We explored nearby the airport. There was a shopping center, so we went and we explored everything. And that was a whole adventure on its own.
Tokyo is number one on my list of places I'd like to visit.
Yeah, Tokyo was cool. We didn't go very far, but it was still cool.
Or Japan in general. I mean, I would love to kind of get off into the sticks a little bit and, do that sort of thing. I think that'd be fun.
We need to plan that trip.
Oh my gosh. I need to. I need my books to sell a lot better than they are right now.
we need
That's
a
what
month
I
or
need.
two over there for that. Yeah.
Oh, that would be wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah. So the whole Scottish thing, I'd saved up enough after my first year of uni. And so I managed to go on a 2-week tour thing in the Scottish Highlands. So we went around Scotland in this tour bus. And first week we just went around Scotland in a tour bus. And that is a whole bunch of stories. We were summoning the Loch Ness Monster at the loch. And,
did it work?
No, but he was wearing a necklace on his head. And I'm trying to turn into a haka because we had some New Zealanders in our tour group. So, good lucky, Nessie, come to me.
That's great.
So that's the summary. Yeah, and then I was there for Hogmanay, so that's the huge New Year celebration stuff. So that was kind of fun. And the Roman thing, that was a study abroad program. So I did that for June, and that was about 6 weeks. And mostly stayed in Rome and learned all the stuff. And then we briefly went over to Florence, and there was a nunnery that we were staying at. So we stayed there for a couple nights, but we got to go check out a bunch of the big buildings. I think I don't know if it's called the Duomo or whatever it is. You know, the big white.
The Duomo. Yeah, the Duomo.
So we went all the way up the top, and then my phone died as I was trying to take photos. So I got photos of us winding tiny staircase going all the way up, and then got to the top, and my phone died because I took too many pictures.
Oh.
So my classmates, we became huge friends because they loved my candid photos I took of everybody. And I was like, I kind of did this, and like, no, keep going, keep doing this. So I'm like, okay. So I'd take some silly candid photos. I'd have it in front of me, like looking over to get somebody else in frame behind me, and like, wait, are you taking a picture? Cue laughter.
Yes,
I got on top of that. My phone died, and it was about to storm too. So it was some really cool pictures. But my classmate said, "Hey, I'll do on Facebook so that at least you can see the photos from up there, and you're in the photos." So yeah, it was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
So I've got all sorts of random stories just from where I've gone. I had to get safety scissors confiscated at the Tokyo airport. You know, the really cheap, rounded kid scissors?
Yeah.
The kid scissors,
confiscated those?
And we were there, and they had this whole thing. I had to sign a special waiver and all this. They were making a huge fuss over it with my safety scissors. So I had to surrender my cheap safety scissors.
That's crazy.
Compasses in there that were sharper than the scissors, and they didn't touch that. So I don't know. I just brought my pencil case. Yeah, I have random weird stories just from traveling around.
But what that does, some people never leave their city. You know, they spend their whole life in the city that they were born in. But what that does is it gives you a unique perspective about what's happening around the world.
Oh yeah,
and because different places have different cultures and they look at things different ways. And whether you're writing, like contemporary fiction or you're writing fantasy or science fiction, it certainly helps you kind of recontextualize everything. You have a new perspective on everything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, some writers are lucky in that, they make huge sums of money. And if they decide that they're going to write a story about Switzerland, they go live in Switzerland for a couple of months and they write the story while they're over there. Yeah. I mean, that would be amazing to do something like that. But even just a little travel, to someplace else, I think can be immensely helpful to broadening the horizons of your stories for sure.
Oh yeah.
Tell us about your first book, In the Halls of the Haunted.
Yeah, so it's kind of a paranormal haunted house kind of story. So it kind of is slightly based on a true story.
Okay.
A family story, actually.
Cool.
So basically, my grandma has a really, really old house. Really old, like it's 250 years old now. And when I was really little, my mom and my brother and I were living there. And so sometimes uncle would be there and all that. So you had like 4 or 5 adults in the house, and then me and my brother. And I think my sister would have been very, very little. And so we were there, and we were staying in the oldest bedroom in the house. So part of the original log cabin from like the 1870s or something, I think it was. So that door is kind of really old looking. It's got like the skeleton keyhole on it. It doesn't fully close properly, and it's kind of weirdly short. The ceiling's a bit low and all that kind of stuff. So really old house, really old room. But in that room, I think I was 6 and my brother was 4. And he saw a pretty lady. And it freaked everybody in the house out. Like, who's the pretty lady? His mom came up to tuck us in. My brother said,
wow.
You don't have to. The pretty lady already did. Hence, freaked out. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, so true story. And we had named the ghost. So, different name, of course, but we had named the ghost, and so... Right. We know the story in the family, but that's kind of partially what it's based on. It's the really old house and what me and my brother experienced at the time. Not entirely, of course, because, this is paranormal fantasy, and of course that didn't happen, but you know what I mean. Yeah, but it's paranormal.
I like that it's based on something that you actually experienced. So
yeah, that's cool.
Really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, the pretty lady thing just really got me rolling on it. And so I wanted to explore the pretty lady and like, what if the pretty lady actually was there?
Right.
Something. So I kind of explored it, and so then I was looking up, because it's a Victorian house. So I was like, all right, let's look up Victorian houses, because I want to know a bit more about the inside of the house. You get all the photos about the outside of the house. So I'm looking up all these things and learning about gables and wainscoting and all the rickety old stairs, all the really fancy ones that kind of curve around and look impressive. Yeah, it was a lot trying to figure out what all this was and how it all fit in there and what it looked like. So that was fun. Just scrolling through images.
When will your book be released and where?
So book will be, so it's going to be available on Amazon. It's going to be available, should be through a lot of the regular retailers, I think. But it's on May 26th this year. So,
right.
Yeah. So that's when it'll be releasing, and so it's kind of exciting.
So not just on Amazon, it'll be available elsewhere also.
Yeah, you'll get it.
You're going wide with it.
Copy.
Oh, you've already got a copy. Hold that up and let me put it up for people who are watching the.
Yes.
Watching the show. There we go. Hey, that's a good looking. Since we're on the subject, this was one of my questions. Who did your cover and how was it created?
So for this cover, I got the help of Get Covers.
Okay.
So they're a service, and
cool.
So for that, I had some concept art images. Like you get like stuff like for a mood board or that kind of stuff. So I had different. I had a few images that I kind of cobbled Frankenstein together into an idea, and then I put that off. And then told them, this is the genre, and this is the title, and all that other stuff. And then they came back with this. And I really loved the green. I thought it was really cool. So
I think it's designed well.
Yeah, it's a great cover.
Yeah.
It's a really good cover.
That's certainly not a guarantee. that you know, and a good cover will do you big favors for sure. And so you would suggest it's a service called Get Covers.
Get Covers, yeah. They're pretty good. They're pretty quick. I mean, they even will come back later and resize it if you need to.
Cool.
So that's pretty nice too. So
and you already have a print version of your book, which is awesome.
Yeah, I got a proof to make sure everything was looking nice.
Who did you go through on that?
I went to Ingram.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Ingram sent me a copy, and so.
And it doesn't say proof copy on it.
No. Well, it's not necessarily. I call it a proof copy, but I ordered a few copies for myself, so I'm ready.
Yeah.
And so
I'm going to be doing that soon.
This is my copy, and I have a few others ready to go.
Yeah, the first thing I do when I put out a book and order copies is I order 10. Actually, I order 11. 10 to sell, 1 for me. And that becomes basically my proof copy. But Ingram's very good with their printing. I've only ever had one mistake from Ingram, and that was on me.
Really?
Yeah, that was on me. And they fixed it. So
I'm going to be trying them out soon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, on the recommendation of you and several other people who uses Ingram, and they're happy with
I've been real happy with them.
Service. Yeah. Jay, what is your writing process like? Are you a plotter or a pantser?
I'm kind of shifting more to a plantser.
Okay.
So I started off as a pantser and just wrote whatever. It was especially when I was still doing like stuff with existing IP that I'd post up on fan sites. I've done that for ages. That's what I've always done. But trying to do this way, I've decided I want to try and plan a bit more. But then, I'm still kind of a pantser, so I'd say I'm kind of a hybrid of the two.
So if you're planning, what do you do first?
Well, I want to kind of sketch out at least an idea of where I want to start and then where I want to end it. So I've got a good idea of where I want to stay in. So I'll go, okay, I kind of want to start here-ish, and then by the end, I kind of want this to happen. And so then I kind of work backwards and forwards going, okay, so then maybe some beats in the story might be X happens. And then I got to try and figure out, okay, well then what's the high note? And so that took a bit with this, because I'm like, what is the high note for this? Because it's a novella. So I can't really go for too long. So I was like, okay, so what's the high point in a novella going to be like? And so that was a lot of trial and error. To try and figure out what would work for a shorter story. So it took a bit, but I'm trying to get into the habit of planning a tiny bit more. So yeah, that's what I've been trying to do at least.
Are you using a notebook? Are you using index cards, or do you have an app that you use?
Well, I've got like Word and all that, but I've also got stuff like Scrivener.
Okay.
And I've also been looking out for a few other kind of planning apps. I've got Scaffold as well. It's kind of another corkboard kind of thing that I can do trees and things on. So I've done mind maps on that before.
Okay,
with another side thing that I've done, I've messed around with twine a little bit to kind of see how that plans it out. So I'm kind of still negotiating what works best.
I hear you. Yep, I hear you. It'll probably change all the time. if you're like me, it'll probably be a ever evolving process.
Yeah. Probably.
Tell us about playing tabletop role-playing games and how that helped you as a writer.
Oh my gosh. So that's kind of I kind of roll loose. So my style because I've DM'd a lot more often than I'd say equally. I've been a player and I've been a DM, kind of equal. So in the stuff that host, I step back a tiny bit and I kind of see what the players are going to do so that I can riff off of them and create an interesting story. So mine has a lot of like character beats and play-by-play. One of my longest ones was a Discord with GURPS.
Okay,
so, yeah. Well, I had some of the crazy players styles in that group, and so sometimes they like to mess with each other, and then they go, "Wait, I want to go do this." And so at one point it was, "Wait, our vampire friend it's hot outside and it's very bright because we're in a tropical area and it's the middle of summer. Our vampire friend might wilt. The quest to create a parasol for him." And so there was like 1 or 2 sessions where they were going to different vendors trying to figure out what they could trade and what they could do so they could get to this other vendor who could create a parasol for their vampire friend. Yeah. And one quest I sent them off on was grab the library books. So it sent them halfway across the world to go see where the library books have gone, because the librarian's like, "Our order of really good books is missing. Please figure out where it went." Except, of course,
where's our books?
But, you know.
Where's our books?
So off they went, and there was one character who's like, "I need to go and help everybody," and the rest of the crew is going, hang on, let's think for a second. So, yeah, like, that guy was, as we lovingly put it, what was it? Lawfully stupid.
that was his alignment.
Like lawfully stupid.
Yes. So, so lawful, stupid, and make no sense.
How
that helped.
How has that helped as a writer?
Well, especially when it came to that campaign, we had a Discord going on, and so I wound up writing these lengthy stories so far about what happened during the adventures, with tons of description and all this. And so initially it was like a paragraph, and then it would just get to like, yeah. So that definitely helped.
Sure.
I was at one point just like, I've noticed these are getting pretty lengthy here.
Which almost in and of itself could create its own book. You can take that whole campaign and turn it into a book. I mean, I've listened to Dan playing plenty of D&D with the guys, and there are days when I'm like, why am I not writing this down? Because some of the stuff they come up with is so off the wall, and I'm like, I could write write a book about this. Yeah, it's the same imagination that we authors use. It's just in a different format.
Mm-hmm.
Let me say a few things about role-playing games and being a writer. I think that one of the great things about doing role-playing games is that, when you create characters in your mind, it's difficult to come up with different personalities and, come up with motivations and stuff. When you're role-playing, the characters all have their own agency and they all have their own goals and stuff. Mm-hmm. And if you pay attention to how all of those characters interact with each other and how they interact with your plot that you put out, it can be very informative on kind of how some characters, go along or get off of their goals for the purpose of the group. And then how other characters don't do that. They're still on their own goals, no matter what the goals of the group are. And that can make for very interesting characters.
Oh, definitely.
And
for sure.
I will also say something else. The story that's called Demon Town, I did a 8-page story in a comic book for Demon Town. Mm-hmm. And then a few years after that, I did about 5 years of the D6 role-playing game with a group of people and ran them through the Demon Town world. And what that did is, I'm not necessarily using the stories from that, But the world building that I created over that period of time was incredible. I mean, it really, because when you're running a role-playing game, you got to figure out all kinds of things that you wouldn't have to figure out if you're just writing a story. You have to figure out what the politics are in this region, and what the energy sources are, and how people get food, and all kinds of crazy things you never even consider. Suddenly, because you're role playing this stuff, and because you have to know what's going on, it's spectacular for world building. So it can be a great exercise in writing if you capture all of that stuff over time, and it can help you build a world.
For sure.
Jay, what kind of projects do you have coming next? I know you have a lot of ideas.
Well, at the moment, I'm still kind of setting up the world for a sci-fi. So it's still kind of at that stage. Yeah. So that's what I'm working on at the moment.
You're not ready to make any announcements?
No, not really. I'm still working on it.
Is there anything that you'd like to cover that we didn't mention?
Oh, I don't know. Oh gosh.
I don't know, but I'm going to say this. Cal looks too awful cute laying on the back of the chair over there.
He loves to chill on that chair.
Yep.
It's one of his favorite spots. So he just hangs out and he naps. At least he's not in one of his playful, slightly destructive moods. Because sometimes he'll mess with your feet while you're sitting at your chair. Earlier today, he was trying to chomp on the printer. And then
okay. That's the way they are.
Computer screen. Let me paw at the monitor while you're trying to do things.
I have come to the conclusion we are all a little bit like Hemingway. All of us have a cat that keeps us company when we write.
That's funny.
We're all a little Hemingway.
I think there's something to that. Jay, tell us where we can find you.
Well, at the moment, I'm still trying to set up all my socials, but at the moment I've got my Facebook. So JD Falor is on Facebook. So there's that.
That's Falor.
Yeah, JDFALOR. There's so J.D.Falor on Facebook.
Here you go.
Yeah, so
cool.
I'm just waiting in on all that, so that'll be an adventure.
Yeah, you'll get it taken care of. Don't worry.
You're just at the beginning of this, and like I told you before we started the show, it never ends. So just do what you can and expand as you go, and you'll find what clicks.
Okay.
Jay, thank you for joining us today.
Well, thank you for having me.
No, for sure. I'm glad you came on the show.
All right, Beth, tell everyone where they can find you.
Hey, you can find me the usual haunts at Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. On Facebook, I'm Beth Ann Freely. On Twitter, at BA Freely. Instagram, at BA Freely. Pretty sure that's what my Threads and Blue Sky handle are as well. And if you can't remember any of that, just go look up Linktree, BA Freely. You can find me there. You can also find me at themusesfunhouse.com and at my website, Beth, BETH, and ANNE Freely, FREELY.com.
I'm coughing, so I didn't jump right in there like I'm supposed to, right? You can find me at writeworks.dirkhooper.com. If you're an adult and you like adult content, you can find me at asherlake.net. I'm also at the Muses Funhouse. You can find me at Dirk Hooper Plus on X, and I'm trying to get more involved there. Please reach out to me. And finally, I'm on, what was my last thing there? I'm not Facebook. On Facebook, I'm at dirk.hooper. There you go. It's one of those days.
It is. Okay.
All right. Before we go, I want to say that Beth A. Freely is offering editing and book trailer services, and I'm offering author branding and social media management at the Muses Funhouse. Check out the website or contact us at the email address below for information. Thanks to our guest, J.D. Falor, For Beth A. Freely, I'm Dirk Cooper saying, dream hard.